Gotta get that clapper. Okay, so hi everybody, this is Hank B. As you just saw clapping was Josh T, who's running around having fun. We're with R.2.Cents Media, and we decided to ask a friend of ours who knows nothing about the previous two rants I kind of did about Star Wars to come in as kind of a reaction video to some of the things I was saying. So hopefully we'll see some fun reactions to some of these comments. I'm not going to reread everything I said. We're going to try to paraphrase it down a little bit just to kind of get the a little bit faster, but we are going to go over it pretty well. Ready?
Let's do this.
Okay, so as you probably see the meme behind us, and I've showed you the meme. So you saw the meme about that we're going to be talking about with
Correct.
So what did you think of the meme?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of rough seeing the movie. Seeing the Padawans get slaughtered, but Anakin's in that transition phase where he's going through the whole, last bit of good guy, but oh no, this is for the Emperor, and did what he had to do.
So as I mentioned in the other video, that's actually one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. I enjoy that he did that. I've actually had conversations in because I've commented like, yeah, that's my favorite scene. Okay, so I kind of started off when I saw that talking about how the Jedi Council carries the blame for not protecting the younglings, and that they were basically child soldiers. Yeah, I'm equating them to being the same thing as Somali child soldiers because they're being trained with weapons. They're being indoctrinated into a religion that's not necessarily theirs, and it was Jedi's Council's responsibility to protect them. And that Anakin kind of did a service by killing them because there's no way they could have came out of that brainwashing, and what he did was actually a mercy.
Wow. Fair points. I mean,
go ahead, say what you want. I mean, we're not gonna get mad at you all of a sudden.
I mean,
They might.
oh jeez. From my side, I mean, I don't know. I feel they're still at that stage where there's Padawans or younglings. They're being trained to be keepers of the peace and keep order to the Republic. And in my eyes, he did a disservice to them by taking out the younger ones, and even all the other Jedis there too. And so any potential future Jedis were just eliminated just like that. And so
it's kind of interesting. You mentioned bringing peace to the Republic, but wasn't Chancellor Palpatine in charge of the Republic?
Oh,
and they're basically raising them to go against the actual lawful government, which kind of goes into the second video where I compare Jedi to terrorists and call them, or no, the rebels to terrorists and call them ISIS.
Oh wow!
Either one.
Damn.
I told you he does not know a word I said.
I always like the Jedi.
What you got to say about that, Cup? What you got?
I'm kind of speechless.
Yeah, I was too.
And again, I like the Jedi just like everybody else. I mean, I'm a fan of the whole thing, but sometimes I like to break in and get deeper with the thought of it. Well, what was funny is during the train of thought, do you want to once again read what the guy said?
So the guy replied with Hank B. Eels. Wait, what? So they were being trained to control their powers to have a code of ethics, morality. Because having superheroes amongst ordinary people who don't have ethics or morality equals bad news for the galaxy.
Now, basically, I took that as he's trying to say, what, so they're training them is wrong. They're training these people with powers, and training people with powers is a bad thing. And he was trying to say that's what I was saying. Which was obviously not what I was saying, is I was just trying to say, and I even posted back that, well, they were being trained by a flawed and corrupt group. I'm saying basically the Jedi were flawed and corrupt because they cut themselves off from the Force. They basically became a tyrannical power. Maybe it was for the side of good, but that doesn't change the fact that, in my opinion, they became a tyrannical power. So, what do you think of that thought? Oh my God, studio! Oh!
What is happening?
We're being attacked by Sith Lords at the moment.
Diddy in the building.
Apparently, Darth Diddy is just trying to crack up in here. We'll probably end up cutting that out. Who knows? But yeah, so So as I was saying they were being trained by a flawed and corrupt group. And that's why Anakin actually brought balance to the Force by killing all the Jedis and being part of that. The Jedi had perverted their belief system across the galaxy. And while I agree with what the Jedi stood for and was noble in theory, the problem was their execution. I think you're being hunted. They themselves tried to cut themselves off from part of the Force, and the Jedi were extremists that refused true balance.
Wow. Yeah, that's very... I was not
I
prepared
think
for
we're
this.
catching him off guard. Yeah, he didn't know he was going to be doing this. We were just like, hey, why don't you come and have like a little bit of reaction to the discussion I was having earlier?
I don't know. To me, I still see the Jedi as more of, again, keepers of the peace in that they're more council-oriented versus the Sith, where it's more of the tyrannical leader role of the, Sith Emperor and his apprentice, in this case, Anakin. And by eliminating the Jedis, especially aka the Padawans, still to me, oh my gosh.
The child soldiers.
Everybody, I was not prepared for this.
This is what makes this awesome. He was not coming in for
caught
this.
off guard. Trying to refresh my Star
That's
Wars
why we
memories
wanted.
of
Well,
the
see, we
movies.
wanted an honest reaction to some of the stuff that
That's fair.
I was putting out there.
That's fair.
So,
I still just, I don't know. I still have my own beliefs.
That's fair.
I still think the Padawans were still innocent. I think they were executed, and they could have grown up to be great Jedis, and they didn't get a chance.
No, the execution was messed up. I agree with that.
oh yeah. I mean, even if I liked it,
They didn't get to live their life.
Oh, Annie, what should we do? Bzz. Oh, Annie, like, why?
Because they were brainwashed. They child soldiers, bro. Child soldiers. Because if you really look at it, the Force relied on an untrained Jedi to bring balance to it. The most powerful Force users they have, even the ones that are even still alive, are all people that never completed their training. Luke never really completed his training. People want to argue and say he's a Jedi, but he didn't go through the full training like a normal Jedi. He started way too late in his life. Even, Yoda said that. He was too old. Anakin was too old. Freaking, I don't know how old Ahsoka was when she started, but she never completed her training. She doesn't even consider herself a Jedi. Freaking, and then you got the guy from Rebels. The kid from Ezra Bridger,
yep.
who's still technically alive at this point. I mean, they got a whole show talking about trying to find him. And then you got Rey. Your most powerful Jedis are ones that aren't necessarily full, or at least the people that are alive are actually more Force users. My thing is, it's about Force users. Force users are what is needed, not Jedis, because of the fact that they cut themselves off from the Force. Because they cut themselves off from relationships, but yet Luke didn't. Anakin didn't. Ezra's in love with Sabine. I mean, a lot of the Force users don't cut themselves off, and that's why I say that they perverted, is because they cut themselves off. What do you think of the fact that they cut themselves off from religion, or from emotion?
I will say you do bring up a valid point there. It is one thing I did think was also a little bit extreme, that they're not really allowed to have those emotions, and not allowed to really have relationships or love. When I think it was Yoda's talking to Anakin and giving him his advice, and he's like, that's a path to the dark side. And it's like, okay, like, that is a bit extreme. Here he is wanting to have that relationship with Padme and have a kid and do the whole family thing. So I mean, there's a legit point there.
And yet Yoda ran in fear.
Padawans don't really get potentially a chance to have that kind of life, to grow up and have family. So I see what you're getting at with that, or to have those emotions like normal people would, even in the Star Wars galaxy.
At one point, I equated the Jedi religion to the Catholic Church.
Oh shit!
I called the Grand Master of the Jedi Council the Pope. Everybody else on the council was archbishops, and then you had the little priests running around, doing stuff.
Oh,
they're not allowed religions, but there's a lot of similarities. I'm not saying that's what was intended, but I'm just saying you can see some similarities between what's there, and everybody listens to the archbishops and the Pope, and what they say is law, and the priests can't have a religion, and then yet they're all sinning themselves. Well, not all. Let me correct that. But you have sinners amongst the priests. They're supposed to be leading the people. Because why? Part of it could be that they cut themselves off. That's the only thing I'm getting at with that.
Next part.
I'd say we just keep ad hoc in this part. We don't have to go over the whole thing. Okay, so let's go into the other part, since we're just really catching him off guard with a lot of stuff.
Oh boy.
when I equated the rebellion to terrorists, how did you feel about that?
The rebels to terrorists. I mean,
Small
jeez.
coalitions.
I mean, yeah, they are obviously going around blowing things up, aka the Death Star. Certain things.
Well, even not just the Death Star. I mean,
Imperial bases, walkers.
I brought
But
up
in
the,
fairness, I mean, they did kind of blow up some of their planets.
that
the
didn't happen
Ultron.
until much later on, though.
Uh,
I mean, that really didn't happen until much later on.
Princess Leia's planet, was that
Alderaan.
Alderaan? That was it. Very peaceful planet, by the way.
A very peaceful
yeah, by the
Afghanistan that was supporting the terrorists the whole time, hiding them with bases. Like they had Princess Osama bin Laden up in there in the wrong freaking spot, and then like they can't track nothing down.
Wow.
Basically,
What?
the rebellion is the deck of cards. I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez, I don't even know what to say to that. I don't even know what to say to this one. Well, I mean, they're how would you say it? It's almost kind of like Robin Hood in a way. I mean, he does not the best things, but it's for, everybody else's benefit. The rebels go and pull things up, but it's for other people's benefits.
I don't have a problem with his analogy to that. Comparing Robin Hood to the rebellion. Robin from the rich, given to the poor. See, that's not a bad analogy.
Here the rebels are, they're trying to give everybody else a chance. The people that have been oppressed by the Emperor and, getting bullied around and planets getting destroyed and livelihoods.
You keep bringing up planets got destroyed. They didn't destroy that planet until much later on. I mean,
okay, well,
the rebellion was already going on.
Okay, fair enough. So maybe not the whole planet's getting destroyed yet, but still, they're still being oppressed by the Emperor in some way or the other. So to me, I still think that the rebels, if it weren't for the rebels, who else would stand up to the Emperor? Who else would stand up to the stormtroopers?
So
pressing.
Then here's a question to that:
Star Wars civilians.
Without the rebellion, would they need to stand up to them? Would they have been as extreme if it wasn't for the rebellion?
I mean,
because Emperor Palpatine was the rightfully nominated. He was nominated by the council. He was given supreme authority. He executed martial law legally. He did it legally. Gained martial law.
Very sneaky.
Oh yeah, he was sneaky. He was a true politician. Don't get me wrong. He was a true politician.
Worked his way up the ranks.
But I mean, technically, and I'm only going with the technicality of it, he legally was the ruling government.
Yeah.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm just asking, the counterpoint of if there was no rebellion. And I'm not saying every facet of what the Empire was doing was good. I'm not saying every facet of what some of the Empire soldiers was good.
I mean,
but Luke was going to join the Empire. Han tried to join the Empire. How many other people? I mean, many of the people that were in the rebellion were former Empire soldiers as well. I mean, if we go from Rebels, you had Sabine Wren, who was in the Empire. If you go to Luke's buddy, Biggs? Biggs was in the Empire. He was already in the Academy. I mean, the goal of everybody was to join the Academy. I mean,
could have been brainwashing on the Empire's part.
I mean, it could be. They would have learned it from the Jedi.
Ooh, do you not like your life on this planet for your poor? Join the Emperor. Join the Empire.
That's fair.
Join the Academy. Become a pilot.
When you see stormtroopers kind of like walking in cities, they're kind of jerks to everybody too.
Yeah, what's up with that? They just go around
Okay, well,
being bullies.
Here's something good about the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian shows what it was like in some of those places without the Empire's presence, though. Even just the little garrison of troops that were. I'm not saying everything they did is good. I'm just doing. I like debating what we see, what we read, what things like that. Counterpoint could be that some of the more lawless places needed stormtroopers, needed a police
keep
force,
the order, keep the peace, kind of thing. I see what you're going.
And I'm not saying well we had that with the Jedi, because again I think Empire and Jedi are just two extremes of the same coin. I think what you needed to bring them together. You needed one unified front. You needed Force users and soldiers to work together to bring the peace, not just the extremists of the Empire and the extremists of the Jedi.
Fair enough.
How's your mind feeling right now?
A little overwhelmed. Trying to.
Oh, then final question.
Yes.
Sand, pro or con?
Wait, what?
Are you for sand or against sand?
Sand?
Sand.
Like sand?
Sand.
Well, I mean, depends.
Well, we all know all the memes about Anakin hates sand.
Oh, damn. I was like, wait, what?
I caught him blindside. He didn't have a clue I was going to ask him stuff like
It's
that.
like sand, like
Yeah, he had no clue either.
Or like outside sand.
Well, okay, so that was somebody getting blindsided by R.2.Cents on the whole response to it. If you have a response to some of the things he said, feel free to post it. We might bring him in with a little bit more warning next time so he can respond to some of that.
Oh yeah. Watch all the movies and do my research for the next.
I think this
next
should
interview.
kind of be a thing. Just bring people in back. So this is what we're talking about.
I think that's a pretty good idea.
Going home, start watching Star Wars tonight. Damn. Everyone.
I know, but what I was telling him is that like Star Wars portrayed as the rebels to be like good people with good intentions and good surroundings, but then in his point of view, it flip flops the whole thing. The way everything that the Jedi go about their ways and how they control things and.
No, I could definitely see points.
Yeah.
You know, rebels do get a little crazy sometimes, blowing things up and.
I mean, Cassian Andor is a good example of that.
Hmm.
I mean.
Who?
And that brings up a point. That actually was another planet that got jacked up, other than Andor. Not Andor.
Indoor, like
no. Instead of Alderaan, excuse me, I just said Andor. Instead of Alderaan, there was one other planet that got jacked up from Rogue One. That was the first planet they shot.
Okay, we're on Rogue One.
Yeah,
What?
Cassian Andor from Rogue One.
Yeah, it was rough.
It was a good movie.
It was a great movie, though.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? We got any more questions for
I
him?
think we're good. Do you have anything you want to follow up with? Pro, con? You want your propaganda out there? Pro Jedi?
Go Rebels.
I think that's a good thing to end on right there.
What's the symbol for the Rebels? No, I'm just kidding.
That's okay. We'll kill you later.
Oh.
Order 66, motherfucker!
Jedi's, help me.
Wait, no.
Help me, Obi-Wan.
I'm Rebels.
Help me, Yoda. Help me, Tom Cruise.
Wait, aren't they all dead?
Touche.
Luke. But again, this is our opinion. That's his opinion. He has his opinion. And you're allowed your opinion.
Give us some 2 cents. Send an email or don't. Post in the comments or don't. But we want to hear from you. Or else. Or else this guy right there. What are you going to do to him?
He's going to laugh at you. Awkwardly answer your
Who's doing
your
what
mail.
to me? What's happening?
What are you going to do to people if they don't comment?
Oh, they're about to go night-night.
Oh, you going to go night-night. You're going to go night-night.